How you doing, Cowboy fans? This is B-Bird Cowboys. It's a great time to be a Cowboy fan. How is everybody going? Everybody doing today, Cowboy Nation? This is B-Bird Cowboys coming back at you. Just to talk a little bit about the Michael Parsons, but it feels like that. George Pickens franchise tag dilemma. That's what I call it. So just coming on, just to kind of give you my take on it. We'll just go from there. Y'all not catching it live, please get a replay on it and run it back to see what I say. And everybody has their own opinion about it. We got people on opposite ends of this thing, so everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And so we're gonna just see what people have to say, and we'll see what I have to say. I've heard a lot of different opinions today. A lot of them were on the Jones side, a lot of them were on Pickens side, and it's kind of split right down the middle. So we just got to see how we go forward with this, and I'll just give you my take on it. First thing, I think when you look at a situation like this, it's really labor versus management, or the worker versus the corporation in a sense. I know these guys are making a lot more money than the regular workers, but that's what they are. And the corporation would be the front office or whatever. So, it is like you have people that are, pro corporation, pro company, and they're going to side with the company. Then you have people that are pro employees, and they're going to side with them either way. I think it's you have to kind of put those things to the side, and it's a case by case situation, right? You got to see if, where we stand. Is it good faith between both of them? How is this working? But I think it's hard to get somebody to change their stance on that, because what ended up happening is I have a friend of mine that he's never going to say that a player is worth his money. He's always thinking people are overpaid. So he will be the one that falls on the side of management. He don't think these guys ought to be getting that much money. Whereas you have some people that say, hey, a guy should get, what he deserves, whatever the market can bear. No matter what it is, he should get it. And so it's just there's two type of people, man. And just you fall on one of those two. And if you fall on Pickett's side, you're probably the one that, falls on the labor side. If you fall on the Jones side, you're the one that usually in these situations fall on the corporation side. It's just what it is. I found that, when I have these conversations about contracts in basketball and all those things throughout the years, man, this is the way it's always been. And certain people, and it could be maybe a guy that's a laborer, but he takes the side of the corporation. This is what it is. Or you may have somebody in management that say, no, that guy should get his money. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's not where you are that determines that. It's just what your belief systems are. One thing about the franchise tag is it is a tool, but I would ask anyone out there about the franchise tag and ask, why don't other teams use it the way the Cowboys use it? The Cowboys don't use it as a tool, as a placeholder to get negotiations done. They'll use it to pay the player. I mean, other teams don't really do it that way. And you have to ask yourself, okay, why don't they do this? Why don't other teams operate the way the Cowboys do? And it goes back to one of the reasons why I'm actually on here right now. Is because the Joneses don't really have anyone to answer to, so they can use the franchise tag. I mean, who's going to fire Steven and who's going to fire Jerry? Well, no one's going to fire them, so they can actually use the franchise tag without any kind of repercussions. Other teams don't use the franchise tag for certain reasons. One, it counts dollar for dollar against the cap. So if you're trying to build a championship team, that's not the way to do it. Because if I'm paying $27.5 million to Pickens, how can I go and sign a middle linebacker? How can I go sign cornerbacks? How can I go sign a backup? I can't do that because I got too much money allocated, too much cap slot allocated to George Pickens. So a regular GM cannot do it, man. So, but the Joneses can do it because, again, I'm sorry if y'all tired of hearing me say this. They can't be fired. Other GMs are GMing for their jobs, so they have to be the best team out there. It doesn't make sense to have a guy take up 27 million of your cap space when you can actually do two things. You can actually sign to a long term contract and defer some of that money, or you can trade him. But either way, I think it's better than the franchise tag. That brings me to my next question: why didn't the front office seek a trade? I mean, you don't have to. Somebody's going to give you more than a third rounder for it, right? I think a lot of people make the assumption because no one really made a claim on him for the 2 first-round draft picks and have to pay him upwards of $35 million. No team wants to do that. I actually tweeted somebody. They said that he wants Jefferson's money, but he's not going to get Jefferson money. And I said, Jefferson won't get Jefferson money if he had 2 first-round draft choices attached to him. So it's not just you would have to pay Pickens and you'd have to give up draft picks or players for him. That's rich, man. So nobody's going to do that. I think Boss has said, Boss Cowboy, shout out to him, said that I guess in the last 20 years, the tag that was placed on Pickens, no one has acquired that player, and traded for that guy because it's just too rich, man. Nobody will do that. They didn't even do it for Jackson, the quarterback. They're not going to do it for Pickens. So I don't think you can say, look, and some people are using that to say that he's not valuable, he has no market. That's not true. The thing is that he doesn't have a market for top flight pay and giving up draft picks. He don't have that market. And I don't think anyone did. You could put CeeDee Lamb in his position right now and you still wouldn't get anything. Does that mean that CeeDee Lamb's not worth it? It does not mean that. It means that the amount to get him, he put it this way. Pickens is not worth 2 first-round draft picks and $35 or $37 million. Now, he's not worth it for anybody, but watch this. Justin Jefferson's not. Jamar Chase is not. CeeDee Lamb is not. Nobody's worth that. And we've had Lamar Jackson. He's not worth it. So no one's worth that. That doesn't mean that if these guys were free agents without any kind of trade attached to it, that they wouldn't garner somebody, just signing them. But that doesn't mean anything about their value to me. Y'all might have something different. Hey, what's up, JV? Appreciate you getting in here, man. I appreciate you. If you have anything you want to discuss, you can go and put it in the chat, man. We can chop it up. But I'm just on here talking about this. I've been on X and I was on Boss Cowboy show last night. I kind of said mine, but I said, let me get on and jump on live right now and just kind of, on my platform where I kind of discuss things. If you have anything, anybody else have anything to say out there, y'all definitely get on. If y'all catch this later, just put something in the comments and I'll get back with you. The part that I think that even if you pro front office or you are pro Pickens, the thing that you cannot go by or get around is they're not even seeking to negotiate with him, which is, to me, if we're doing both sides, we can't do both sides on that. If you're not even willing to negotiate with the agent, then what are we talking about here? We can't even place any blame on Pickens nor the agent. You're not even bringing numbers. Well, I've had some people on X say, well, you don't know what they're doing behind. All I know is what I see and what's said. We could assume a lot of things, but the assumptions are being made to back up your argument. I'm just looking at what they said. They said they had a 10 to 15 minute conversation with David Mulligetta. Do you think that was about numbers or that was about, hey, we're going to franchise tag We want him to play up under the franchise tag. That's the decision that we're gonna make, and they discussed that. We love for him to be here. We want him to be a Cowboy in the future. What that means is we'll franchise tag him again if he have another year like that. So that's what the discussion was. That couldn't have been anything other than that, right? That had to be just that, and then they were done with it. So that wasn't even a discussion. One thing that while we're on the negotiating discussion and him playing under the franchise tag, that's another thing, y'all, that I don't get why they would even say that. You don't even what was the purpose of Stephen Jones even saying that? You don't have to do that. One of the things that I have an issue with the Cowboys is that they negotiate in a disrespectful manner to me. They negotiate as though we don't have to have a relationship after this. I'll tell you this: if I am going to buy a car from a car dealership, I'm going to negotiate hard with that guy. I'm going to be very aggressive with that person, because after I buy that car, I don't really have to see that person again. But if I'm negotiating with a family member, then I got to watch the way I negotiate. I got to watch the way that I do all things, because I have to have a relationship with this person afterwards. So I can't do it. I can't just be like, it's all about the deal. And just, as long as we win the deal, then I won. I have to see this person on Christmases, Thanksgivings, Mother's Day, and all those other things. I got to look at that person's face, knowing that I went hard at this person. So when you're dealing with players, you can't deal with them like, hey, after this is over with, we're going to go back to where we were. That's not the case all the time, man. Again, as I said last night, the analogy I give, and somebody gave me a long time ago, is watch what you say, because you can't unring a bell. Once that bell's been rung, everybody's heard it. You can't take that sound out their ears. Again, the analogy I give is like, if you have a wife or a husband at home, when y'all get into an argument, watch how you argue with that person, because you can say some things that's out of line and you can go back and apologize for it. But it's better if you never said it, because they can still hear that in their ears, the things that you said about them. So the Joneses operate as though we're going to negotiate hard. We're going to be tough. We're going to negotiate hard. We're going to negotiate tough. The issue is that fans out there support this. Why are y'all supporting? Yeah, go at them. Yeah, we got the leverage. Dude, this is a relationship you got to have afterwards. You got to still have a relationship with them. How you going to build a culture in the locker room telling players that, hey, if you go out there and you perform to a Pro Bowl level, you know what's in store for you? We going to drag you. We going to negotiate hard with you. We going to turn half the fan base against you. We're going to do all these things. That's your reward. Your reward, Michael Parsons, your reward, Pickens, for having an outstanding year is we going to drag you. We going to drag you. I actually think the Joneses be up in the booth getting a little pissed off when Pickens scores a touchdown or Michael Parsons sacks. Because why? The numbers going up. You're worried about too many things. You're worried about the wrong things. But again, not only do the Joneses go hard at their players, the fans actually support them in doing it. Yeah, they got the leverage. He ain't got no leverage. He's going to come and play for that 27. How do you think the mindset of Pickens going to be coming in and doing that? Which takes me back to other general managers. Other general managers understand that, hey, we got to handle this thing with kid gloves. We got this guy here. We got him under the franchise tag. What are we going to do with this guy? Either we're going to pay him, but let's see what we can get. This guy just came off a Pro Bowl year. And somebody might say, well, why won't you just play him under the franchise tag? That's not good for anyone. That's not going to be good for the camaraderie in the locker room. That's not going to be good for other players that see this. That's going to bring a lot of drama. We can't concentrate on football. They're going to be asked all these kind of questions about, Pickens and all, just like the Michael Parsons thing was last year. Hey, either we get this thing settled or we're going to trade. I don't mind the Cowboys saying that we can't have two $30-something million wide receivers. I definitely understand that. But I think you got a choice. I think your choice is either pay him, trade him, or franchise tag him and let him play under franchise tag. The third one, I think, is the one that they don't understand that's not really good for anyone involved. They played around with Michael last year, and I'll tell y'all this. They traded Michael Parsons. Nothing happened for that. The only thing that happened with that is that they didn't make the playoffs and they had a sucky year. Why? because you traded one of the best pass rushers in the league. That's all. That's the only thing that happened. You gave away the year. Name another GM that can give away a whole year on Mike McCarthy, then come back and give away a whole nother year on Michael Parsons. That's what he did. He gave away 2 years back to back. But again, y'all, what is it? He can't get what? He can't get fired. That's why he's doing that. That's why you don't see other GMs do this, because they need the players. They need the players' minds to be all bought in. Yeah, you'll bring Pickens in. Yeah, but he's not going to be bought in because it's a respect thing, man. Like people say, people used to say, yeah, when players talk about respect, they talk about money. Yes, that's what they're talking about. Like what salary did you? If you say, okay, we're going to give you $30 million. Well, you think I'm a number 2 wide receiver? That's a decent number 2. That's what you say. Because why? That's what the money you're giving me, right? Like if you're a franchise quarterback, if you're, I don't want to say Dak Prescott. I don't want to even say Jalen Hurts. We'll just say Mahomes. You're Mahomes, and they come to you with, "Hey, man, we love what you're doing. You won us 2 Super Bowls, and you've been a perennial All-Pro. Man, we're gonna give you $25 million. Huh? Yeah, $25 million a year, dude. That's disrespectful. It's money, and it's disrespectful. The offer is disrespectful, right? And it's not like, oh, he's talking about disrespect. He's talking about money. Yes, I am, because that's what they're talking about. They're talking about money. So I think what it is I think our front office, because of who they are, they take liberties. One of the things y'all may not know is that in the NFL since 2015, and I didn't even go farther back than that, is that the Dallas Cowboys lead the league in players that play under the franchise tag. Now, other teams use the franchise tag, but we're talking about players that play under the franchise tag. And in those, and a lot of those guys were like running backs, tight ends, and things of that sort. But we're talking about this high-paid position, which is quarterback, and we're talking about wide receiver. And the Cowboys have done that on numerous occasions, franchise tag people. So, and allowed them to play up under a franchise tag. So it's something that they do. Again, other teams, other GMs can't afford to do that because it just takes up too much cap space. And other GMs, look at Howie, man. Howie ain't doing nothing like that because Howie's got like a 2 or 3 year window he's working with. He's trying to get all the players in. If Pickens was on Philadelphia, Pickens' cap hit would be like $12 or $13 million right now, because they'll pay him money up front and put some money on the back end because they're trying to win right now. The Cowboys, for all, you can just look at the way they're handling this situation. And you can also look at the fact that they were going to franchise him all along. The reason why I say that is because the tag has been sitting there since free agency started. So if you really was going to sign big-time free agents, you would have made a deal with him or traded him to get that off the books, but they didn't do that. So that limited what you can do in free agency. The $27 million against the books is something that the Cowboys, they've done it. It's no big deal to them. But it should be a big deal to us fans, because why are you doing that? Either trade, because see, I'm not Pickens or bust on his team. It's not that for me. It's what's best for the team as a whole. I would like for him to be here. I like for them to sign into a contract that's something that's good for both sides, that works on both sides. But if you can't do that, then I think the second option is to trade him, get a second round pick. He's really worth a first round pick, but he's going to come with a price tag. And so teams don't really want to pay that much, right? So that's just what it is, man. One of the things that I think the Cowboys do is draw a line, and they make it is them versus the players. Like that's what it ends up being. They're on one side and the players on the other, where other franchises don't really do that. You have the Houston Texans with Will Anderson Jr. As I said last night on Boss Cowboy Show, it was nothing said about his negotiations prior to him signing. They signed him a year early. They signed him to more guaranteed money, to more APY than Michael Parsons. He took pictures with his mom and his dad and his whoever, his family, and then it went away. That's just how quiet it was. It was no negotiation, no mud throwing, no mud slinging. And I don't know the agent name that did the Will Anderson contract. Oh yes, I do. It was Dave Mulligetta, same agent that Parsons has, the same agent as Pickens has, the same agent, y'all. So it can be done, but you have to pick up the phone and call the agent and to see what they're talking about. And if the numbers are astronomical, if they want like $40-something million, well, we can't do that. We're already paying a guy 35, 30, however much you pay a CD. We can't pay him that much. But that's okay, though. At least you tried. At least you tried in good faith to have that. You can just tell him, hey, man, look, we love Pickens. We love what he do. We really want him to be here. But we have an issue, man. We have a wide receiver that we're paying this amount of money. So for him to be here, man, I think the best thing for him is Dak Prescott. Like, he's not going to perform in Cleveland like this. He's not going to perform at other teams that don't have the quarterback that we have like this. And he wants another contract after that. So, we can offer him $32 million, right, for 3 years, over 3 years, or $100 million over 3 years. We're making $33 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Give him some guaranteed money and keep it moving. And if they don't want that, then that's okay. But at least you tried in good faith and you explained yourself to them. But if you don't even pick up the phone to call, then you're basically saying, hey, we like the $27 million number. And that's what we want him at. But because y'all not football guys, right? Y'all don't have y'all feet on the grass. Y'all don't understand that what kind of disharmony this could bring to the locker room. What kind of disharmony this could bring to the team. I mean, we saw what happened last year with Michael Parsons, the same thing. You got a combustible guy here. You know what I'm saying? And so you just never know what is going to turn into. Either trade him or sign him. Those are the two options. I just don't like the option that they took. We got Rico Bullock. Hey man, I appreciate you coming in. If you got something you want to talk about, you want to comment, please do so, and I'll get back with you, man, and we can kind of chop it up. JB, same thing with you if you're in here. So I was listening to Voch today, and Voch is a straight shooter, but he kind of really took the Cowboy side with them saying he had the leverage. So shout out to Voch, all the things that he's doing, man. I remember him when he was in his when he was in his apartment doing things. Now he's up in Dallas doing big things. So shout out to him. Very talented guy, man. Great personality. Deserved to be everywhere he's supposed to be. But he kept using the $40 million number, and what we have to do, we don't know what the number is. So we can't, and maybe Voch does because he's on the inside, but from where I'm looking at, I don't want to throw a number out there. I don't want to speculate so high because see, to make your point, you could say, the Cowboys not going to pay him $45 million. Well, we don't know, but you're doing that to make a point to try to win your argument. We don't have to do that to try to win an argument. We can just say, what the market value is. We know it's probably anywhere from 32 to 40 million, but it's probably somewhere 36 to 37, somewhere in that area that he'd probably be satisfied with. But I just didn't like the framing of the argument. I just didn't like that because I just don't know if you have enough information to try to pin that on him. But when you're trying to make the case for the front office, then that's what you're going to do. You're gonna put the numbers high, right? Yeah, he says Jerry and Jones family still think it's 1995 when it comes to a player's contract. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think that they think that these guys are cattle. We just move one in and move them out. Whereas other GMs identify talent, right? They identify, hey, this guy here is part of the reason why we're going to win. We need to have this guy on the team. And that, they're cheap in the sense of, and if anybody says they're not cheap, they have not signed a free agent, a top 10 free agent since 2012 with Brandon Carr. Say that all the time. So if you're not using every aspect of player acquisition, then you're not trying enough for me. But part of that is because in free agency, you're going to overpay for what you want because you're going to get in a bidding war against other teams. Name the last time the Cowboys got in a bidding war for a free agent. I'll wait. They just don't do it because they don't want to. There's a certain price range they want for a player, and they give it. And if somebody goes over that, they're out. I'm out. That's why most of our acquisitions have been via trade, which, to be honest with you, hats off to those guys. They do well in trades, man. Oh, and another one you said there, they never get in front of players' contracts because they're cheap. Can I give you another one? I'm gonna give you, since it's my show, I can give you this analogy. Um, I think the best quality for a quarterback is the anticipatory. No, I'm going to say that wrong. To be able to anticipate a player being open, right? That is, for me personally, that is the biggest trait that I love about a quarterback. The reason why is the quarterback that can anticipate a player being open, he knows his offense so well. He studied the defense so well that he knows before the guy's open that he's going to be open. So he throws the ball there. And those guys, that's why you don't have to have a rocket arm, because I know the defense and I know the offense. I know my offense in and out, and I know what defense you're playing right now. And I know that CeeDee Lamb's going to be, he looks covered now, but if I throw this ball right here in this spot, he's going to come open. Young rookies don't have that. Some of these guys that never make it as a quarterback, they don't have that. And that comes from studying. That comes from knowledge. That comes from being the first one in and the last one out as a quarterback. Guess where else that skill goes to, y'all? It goes to a general manager. You got to be able to predict what a player's going to be before he is that. So the player that the quarterback that has to see the wide receiver open to throw it, you need too much information. And by the time you throw it, it's too late. The guy's covered. That's why the anticipatory skills are the best for me. The GM that just has to see the guy get 12 sacks 5 years in a row, now you say, okay, now I could pay him. Think about the Dak Prescott. They didn't believe in him at first. That's why they franchised him the first time. No anticipatory skills. Then he showed himself, and then they did it again. No anticipatory skills. You can't anticipate. See, they should have got in front of the Parsons contract and a whole bunch of, they could have gotten in front of the CD contract. But who does have that? The GM in Houston signed Will Anderson a year early. Why? Because he know he's one of those ones. And now he got ahead of it. He's one of those ones. And so when you know, but the Joneses, I don't know. I tell you what, the Joneses, in my opinion, didn't start believing in Dak till about 2 years ago. Just think if they would believed him at first when he's under his rookie contract, where we'd be. Now you go solidify your defense, get things around him, and then make a run, because we got a rookie that's playing like a veteran, if they'd have thought about that. And so they can't anticipate a player being good. They have to see a player being good. And then by the time you see him, the value is up. They never get in front of contracts, man. Hey, Rico, I'll tell you this. Let me read your comment. You say you can't tell me that the Jones family care about making money first instead of winning. I definitely do think that. But I think they're trying to do both, right? I think they're trying to field the most physically responsible team and win at the same time. And you can't really do this, man. This is if we had a thing at the end of the year and you get a Super Bowl for having a balanced book, then you could do that. The reason why that doesn't matter is because you're competing against 31 other teams. So when you're competing against those other teams who are putting contracts, who are giving out a lot of guaranteed money up front to keep the cap hit low, and doing other things to the contracts to keep the cap hit low, then you can't have your cap hits be high and have a guy under a franchise tag hitting $27 million against your cap and competing against those guys, because they're going to be able to field more players than you are, because your salary is going to be, you're going to have a lot of top end guys, but the mid-level guys you're not going to be able to get. And then you're going to have a lot of guys from UFL, undrafted free agents and all that, because that's how you got to field your team. And so I think that's part of the issue right there. They want to be, they run this, and I got to give this to the OC off OC. Shout out to OC. I hadn't seen him in a while, but I think he's personal training football players. But OC said that the Joneses run this team like an accountant. and not like a football. And he's definitely right. They run it like an accountant. And so they don't have the know-how to understand how locker rooms work, because Steve has never been in one. He's like, oh, why we're giving the guy $27 million? He ought to be happy. Well, they're not going to be happy because he doesn't have the safety of guaranteed money, right? So, but he doesn't understand that, right? He doesn't understand he's going to pay him, and what it is, yeah, we're going to pay him, and he's going to play under it. Why that aggressive stance? Do you think does that endear yourself to Pickens or to, because you have to do that. You have to endear yourself to. Here's the deal, y'all. So the SEC for a long time was not integrated, right? And so how did it get integrated? How did it happen? Well, somebody had to get black players on their team first. And I can't remember who it was in the SEC. But just because that one team got black players on it, that does not mean that the other teams wanted them. So what ended up happening is the team with the black players on them started whooping everybody in the SEC. Well, because winning trumps racism, right? And job security, the other head coaches in the SEC had to start integrating and getting black players. Why? Because if I don't get these players, I'm gonna get fired, because these teams that got the integration, they got black and white players are beating the crap out of us. We can't even keep up with these guys. So I need to go recruit the same ones, right? And so what I'm trying to say is, you could be stubborn in your ways, but are you trying to win? If winning is the most important thing to you, and it can't be, I'm going to win this battle against this guy in a contract dispute. That can't be it, man. We got bigger fish to fry. And I'm not even saying sign this guy to a big contract. I'm saying do something, either poop or get off the pot. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and I definitely, and Rico, man, you're doing a great job in here, because you're bringing up some good talking points. You say that playing Moneyball like the movie, but they're trying to catch lightning in the bottle. Absolutely, man. I've said that before. And Rico, can we say one thing together? Moneyball didn't even work. What it did, it made him good. It didn't make him great. And you got to be great to win. That's the thing. And you're absolutely right. They're playing Moneyball, right? And what they're trying to do is they're trying to hit that lucky streak to whereas, hey man, everything came together, but we haven't hit it yet. And so it is what it is. And I think every year is a different year. They're not building on anything. My son, Bryce Bird, said that. He said, it seems like every year we just say, it's almost like we're distracted. Hey, let's try this, what they're doing over here. Then somebody else win a certain way. Hey, let's do it over here. We got to find our way and do our way better than everybody else, man. And we just have not found that yet. Or we're just not committed to that yet. So one thing too, man, just I was thinking about Shotty. Whoever wins the Super Bowl here, they should actually get 2 Super Bowl trophies. The coach should, because of what they have to actually go through to actually win a Super Bowl here, to compete for a Super Bowl here. It's tough, man. You ask Mike McCarthy and you ask all these other guys that came through. It is tough winning here, man. You got to overcome the front office, and you got to strategically get players on the field and get players and all that kind of stuff and all that. And so I think really like a 9-8 year here is pretty much a 11-5 or a 12. 11-6 or 12-5 years somewhere else, man. So it's just I don't feel for Shotty because he took the job, but it is what it is. Again, like you said, they are trying to play Moneyball. They're trying to get the most efficient roster, but efficient rosters don't win, man. You got to go get players, man, to get in these positions. And like right now, we should be going after a linebacker of impact. They got some trades out there. We could trade for a linebacker. I do like the one that we did get in the draft. The one we traded for, D Winters. I do like him. So they've been doing some good things, man. I think really, if you take away the CeeDee Lamb, the Pickens drama, this offseason has been better than before. Have they changed all the way? No, they're not going to change overnight, just do a 180, but they are changing a little bit. It's something that we can kind of point to say, hey, this may be different. The draft pick of Caleb Downs was outstanding, man. Man, just to go back on the draft, I was Caleb Downs a bust because those kind of guys don't come around too often, and that we were able to get him in a position that I thought we needed a safety for years, man. And hey, what's going on, Big Time? That's my OG partner there. I appreciate you coming in, Big Time. Are we gonna do a show, the OG podcast? Hey, me, Cowboy Joe, and Big Time does do that podcast, man, on usually on Fridays. But Big Time, that Sunday was so big. I don't know, man. We might have to try something on Sunday, brother. So we have to see. But definitely, that's my brother there, man, and we have a great time together. Me, him, and Cowboy Joe, man. So I appreciate y'all checking in on that. And also, too, Big Time Cowboy, man, y'all, if anybody's not subscribed to him, y'all missing out. He has a show called The Drive where he goes to, he's on the way to work, and he'll put it on and just talk about things, man. And he's been very active on YouTube, man, so definitely do that. Cowboy Joe with his son, Fast Cast. Y'all go over there. That's father and son, Cowboys. So y'all go over there and check them out too, man. Give them a like and subscribe, man. We're trying to get our subscriptions up. So definitely do that, man. And if y'all not subscribed to me on YouTube, I'd appreciate y'all go over there and subscribe to me on YouTube, man. I did 2 videos last week. We did a draft show. It was me, Cowboy Joe, Jules, who's Cowboy Joe's son, and it was my son, Bryce Bird, man. We had a great time during the first round. My son had found a website that was getting us the draft picks 2 picks ahead. And he's the first one that said that, hey, Dad, I think your dream gonna come true of Caleb Downs. I was like, how you figure that? And he showed me the website, and it was some on Instagram. Somebody had the plug, man. They was giving it to us early. So everything came out well on that. So yeah, man, we're trying to grow our channels, man. So go over and subscribe to us on YouTube, man. We definitely appreciate that. All 3 of us, man. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Let me see what else I got here. One of the things I would like for the contract to be, all contracts to be handled like Will Anderson's contract was handled, man. The public don't need to see your dirty laundry. They don't need to see how the sausage is made, man. These things can be handled behind doors. We don't need to put extra pressure on it, because what you end up doing is making an enemy out of the players. And that don't need to happen. We're not the thing when we're adversarial, the front office is adversarial against the players. That doesn't serve anyone, right? It doesn't. You're trying to save a little bit of money, but the harm that you're causing with that, it's kind of irreparable in a sense, man. So I don't even understand why they do that. Again, you can have the same stance with Pickens that he's going to play under the franchise tag, and not even announce that. You don't even have to announce that. These could be behind closed doors with his agent, and just tell him, hey, this is what we decided to do, and then go from there, right? And if the agent wants to come back with it, hey, look, let's just talk numbers and see where y'all at. And y'all could do all that behind closed doors and stuff. So this thing does not have to be made public at all. It never did. I don't see what advantage it gave the Cowboys to go public with that. I don't think it gave them any kind of advantage at all. Let me see if I have anything else here. Hey, let's see, I would love to talk. Let's see what Rico says. I would love to talk with you on your stream. Think I can bring some good ideas. Yeah, man. I'll Rico, do you have me on? If you're not following me on X, man, follow me on X and then DM me, man. We can work something out. Let me see what else I had. I had some notes here. Let's see. Again, I think I've covered everything, y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all coming on. Rico, you definitely made it a better time here, man. Just coming in. I appreciate my guy Big Time for stepping in. Hey, some people are going to catch this on a replay. Definitely catch it on a replay. I appreciate y'all, man. Again, I do this out of love, man. I love this team. I found this content creator scene probably about 5 years ago. Kind of drug my foot on doing it. It kind of crossed my mind. I just decided to jump into the water, man. And what I do need to do is I need to do more individual things on my own to grow when things come across my mind like this today. I just need to come on here and just get on with y'all, man, because I got to put out more content. I'm just not doing enough. So I am dedicating myself to doing more. So when things come up that I'm passionate about, like this, because I'm really more on the front office and the culture, right? That's what I'm on mainly. I do, the draft. I'm not big on the draft. I'm big on it, but like you have guys that Foots, other Vach, other guys, man, that are really good on the draft. HTM, um, Landlord, those guys are outstanding on the draft. Skywalker still. So what I do is okay, big time. I won't leave. Yeah, what you got, brother? Um, Skywalker, a lot of big time too. They do their work, man. And so I rely on those guys to do that. I don't have the time to do it, but I am more about my ears, like I listen to the press conferences. I go look and see what they're saying up front, because where the head goes, the body will follow, man. So I am big on leadership in my household, at my place of employment. I am big on leadership, and people are going to do like what leadership does, man. And so if we have good leadership at the top, then it's gonna go all the way throughout the team, man. So I definitely believe that's why if we get the leadership right, then I think everything else will follow. I think that our 30-year drought has been because of bad leadership. We have no direction up there. We got people that are just kind of throwing things up against the wall. Yeah, we end up getting some superstar players over the years, but a full team that's ready to compete, a full coaching staff where we have the advantage on the sideline, we haven't gotten that in a while. So that's kind of the area that I kind of concentrate on. I even think that in my family, man. If my family is failing, that's on me. You know what I'm saying? That's not my wife, not my kids, no one else. That's on me. And it all starts with me, man. I put that pressure on myself. And so the front office, that's where it starts at. Like you look at the culture of the Dallas Cowboys is Jerry Jones, man. And I've been wanting a coach to come in here that can change that. Now we've had a lot of coaches that really come here hat in hand, happy to have a job. And that's how Jerry like him. He like him desperate, man. So, that's why I kind of wanted Belichick. And some people say he's washed. Yeah, but Belichick is going to come in with some cachet, to whereas like Bill Parcells told Jerry, go sit in the corner. You know what I'm saying? And so you need that, because now Bill Parcells was able to sculpt the culture here. And you can see some change in that. But what ended up happening is he brought in T.O. and in bringing in T.O., that kind of went against him, and he got out after that. Then you brought in, Garrett, and then the rest. No, he didn't bring in Garrett after that. Brought in Phillips after that. But another guy that just happened to have a job, he'll do anything, just whatever. I just want the job. You need some guys that come in here. Hey, I had other offers. That's why Ben Johnson, I was really high on him. Why? Because you're going to have to give up some things to get Ben Johnson. But you got Shotty, and Shotty can do it, but he's got to stand on his own, man. And he got to be like, no, this is the way we're going to do it. This is the way I want to do it. Like, if I'm going to fail, I want to fail on my own. I want to fail doing someone else's way. Let me fail my way. I've been in this business. I'm 50 years old. I've been in this business for a long time. My toes are in the grass. I'm not up in the booth or anything like that. So let me do it my way, man. So another thing too, man, Christian Parker. Since I'm just freestyling right now. Let's not put too much on Christian Parker. He is let's say a rookie defensive coordinator, y'all. Now he's been on the defensive side for a while, but we don't know how this is going to work. So a lot of people are saying like CP, man, he's just smart. Yeah, he could be smart, and I think he is, but that doesn't mean that, he has never called defensive plays before. So we don't know how this guy's going to be. But we're going to have to, he's going to have some growing pains, man. And so we got to go through that with him. And so don't think that, hey, I hope I'm wrong and hits the ground running. And that's what I'm hoping for. But that usually doesn't happen. That's like a quarterback coming out saying, yeah, he's a great college quarterback. He's going to be great in the pros. Yeah, he may be, but maybe not the first 2 or 3 years, right? He may grow into that, right? And so you can't just put all that on Christian Parker, man. Another thing too is I don't think that it's necessarily the right way to say, hey, because we got a great defense coordinator, we don't need this quality player. We can get away with getting less quality players. Now, why are we doing that? Like, again, I said this before. There's no rule that says that you can't have a top top 3 offense and a top 10 defense. Who says you got to have? And when we say that, some people say, man, if we can just get in the top 20, I don't want to just get in the top 20. Can I tell y'all why, man? This is OG stuff here. The last time we won a Super Bowl, we had a top-ranked offense and a top-ranked defense. It's okay to have both of them, y'all. Philadelphia had both of them when they won. It's okay to have that. There's nothing wrong with that. The Rams, when they won, they had a top-flight offense and a top-flight defense. It is okay. It is not against the rules to have that. So I think it starts with having talent on defense. The other day when we were on OG podcast, I listed our opening game roster last year, and only 2 people are still here. And I think it was Bland and Clark on the inside. Everybody else is gone, our starters. So we're going to have 9 new guys out there, man. That's a good thing. One of the things I love that we did, we upgraded the safety room, which was low-key one of our biggest issues to me. I think sometimes when we saw those corners getting beat, we blame the corners, right? But where's the safety? Like, that's what they're there for. They're getting beat deep, but there's no safety. Safety coming in late. And I think some of it was they just didn't have athletic ability to have the range. I don't think we're going to have that problem anymore. I know we got 2 good safeties with Downs and I can't remember the other safety. But we got 2 good safeties, and that's not going to be an issue. I think if we address – now, one thing I would love for us to have, I did want that Ward Daddy at defensive end, man. I did want that Crosby or that Garrett at defensive end, but we're not going to get that. Garrett for Crosby, I think to me that's actually a good trade for both teams. You give your rookie quarterback a franchise wide receiver. They don't have one over there, and we get Max Crosby, who is the demon versus the pass, versus the run. Effort guy is going to give you some. Every play he's out there is going to give you everything he has, and it makes the Rashawn Gary being a number 2 defensive end a pretty make that acquisition look good, and our rookie can come along slow. As of now, our rookie Lawrence got to come. He got to come along a little bit faster than what we thought. Hey, what's say, Lou? Appreciate you coming in, man. And I appreciate all the work you do in the community, Lou. And Lou, you missed it. I was just talking about. Hey, what's up, landlord? Appreciate you too, brother. I ain't see you in there. My head's been straight ahead, man. We were just talking about. I'll recap a little bit. I'll go over a few things just for you guys that just came in. I talked about the first thing I talked about was people fall on 2 ways. Either they're for management, and this is in real life, or they're for the everyday workers. And it's just the way you're built, right? It's just either you're for one and you're against the other one. And so the people that's going for Jerry Jones on their own job, they'll be for management, right? And the other ones the other people that's going for Pickens will be for labor. It's just the way you fall. It's no right or wrong thing about that. It's just what it is. And so when you see sports, you see it from that same vein. The second thing I said is, why don't other teams franchise tag, use a franchise like the Cowboys do? The Cowboys actually use the franchise tag and make a player play through the franchise tag more than anyone in the league. And I said part of that is because no other GM wants to occupy $27 million of their cap space because it's going to hinder them from getting other players to make their team better. Because why? They're GMing for their job. The reason why the Cowboys do it because they don't have anybody to answer to. They can just do it. One of the things that we should have been asking even before free agency is, why are you allowing a guy to count $27.3 million against the cap when you don't have to? Either trade him or sign him and lower the cap hit so you can go get more players, which said to me is one of the reasons why they didn't go get more players, because they wanted Pickens to play under this cap. The other thing I said is, why not seek a trade? I mean, they should have. Again, I'm not Pickens on this team or bust. It's just that I think the worst thing is you got 3 things: you sign him, you trade him, or you make him play under the tag. The third one is the worst because of the disharmony that it's going to bring inside the locker room. And we saw what happened with Michael Parsons last year, man. We don't want all that. Now guys got to answer questions about that every day. It's in the media. ESPN got it. Stephen A is running with it because they love to run with all Cowboy stuff. And it'll be stuff that, we got to hear about this every day. The fourth thing I said is they're not even negotiating. So anyone that even if you're on the side of management, it's no way you can justify not even having a conversation with him, with his representation. Dave Mulligetta, they had a 10 to 15-minute conversation with him. I can't see that being negotiating. The only thing I can see that being is them informing him that they want him to play under the tag, and that's what it was. So that's the only conversation they had with him. The other thing I said was, it seems as though that the front office is the front office versus the players, instead of, well, what's the opposite of that? Well, the Will Anderson Jr. Negotiation, where it was done quietly, respectfully. That's the thing. I think that the Joneses don't realize y'all really disrespecting these players, dragging them through the mud, telling them what they're worth, and making them do this and making them do that. You're big boy in them, and that doesn't go on well. Also doesn't play well in the locker room. Will Anderson, I never knew that he was even they were even negotiating. That's one thing we would love the Cowboys to do. The second thing is they came early. That's the second thing that we would like for them to do. And the third thing was it was done with respect and dignity, man, where everybody can walk away feeling good about the situation. And he got paid more APY and more guaranteed money than Michael Parsons. And so they just did it the right way. What they did, they identified their need. Hey, we're not going anywhere without Will Anderson. So, hey, let's get ahead of this thing, because if we wait another year, it's going to be $55 million a year. So let's get ahead of it and, settle this thing. And now we got him settled. That's one thing we don't have to worry about anymore. So let's move on to the next. I said I watched Vosh today, and he was on, and Vosh kind of taking the side of management. I have no issue with that. But I think to make points, I think we're throwing around numbers that we think that will make our mark. That's like me saying, man, if Pickens won $50 million, that's just too much. Who said that? Like, we're throwing around numbers like, so he made this point saying $40-something million, which I think is kind of disingenuous, man. We don't know what the number is. If he knows it, then he can come and say, hey, I know because of this. But I think we don't have to skew numbers to make our argument look better. And I think that's what he was doing today. I just didn't like it. And I like Voch. He's very knowledgeable. I love the way where he came from. And, his ascension. I've been in this community for a long time. I remember when he was just doing lives, from his apartment, and he's moved up. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything that he says. And he won't agree with some things I say either. So that's cool. And I think I had one more point. What was it? So I don't even understand the value of going live. Going to the public with the fact that you were going to that you want him to play under the franchise tag. That didn't even need to be a public thing. Y'all could still be behind closed doors negotiating. You don't know what he wants. You again, if I'm the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, I call Dave Mulligetta, and I call him because I'm not petty. I don't hold grudges. I call him because he represents one of my best players. But I call him and say, hey, look, Dave, this is what it is, man. I said, nobody else in the league is paying $30 million to two wide receivers. Man, we love Pickens, man. But we already got CD signed. That doesn't, and we understand the value of him on the open market, but he's not. He said, now, we do have the franchise tag, but man, we really would love to get something done for him. But the number has to be reasonable for us. Pickens is 24 years old, man. I'd like to sign him for 3 years and $33 million and a certain amount guaranteed. Look, even after that, he's going to be on another contract at his 27 years old, still in his prime. Now, you may be able to get more money if you force a trade to Cleveland, but who's throwing to you? You may be able to force a trade to the Jets, but who's throwing to you? You may be able to, and then at 27, when you're catching 54 balls a year for 799 yards, what's your market value going to be at that point in time? It's going to be like it was in Pittsburgh. That's why we got you for a third rounder. But we know the value in you. We love you. We want you to be around. We love your fight. We love your spunk. You add something to the next team, not just in yards, but you add some confidence in our team. We love you here, man, and we want you here. But what we can offer is $33 million over 3 years. We'll give you a $100 million contract over 3 years, and that's where we can go, man. If they come back saying, "No, we want 37," hey, man, look, I made the best. I made the best offer I could. I even told you why we was making those offers, and it's some things that that are here. CeeDee Lamb is here. If CeeDee Lamb wasn't here and we weren't always committed to him, oh yeah, we give you what you need, what you want at that point in time. But man, we can't do it. And we're trying to win a Super Bowl here. This is what we can do. The thing about it, it's a little bit more than the franchise tag, but the thing about it is, it's guaranteed more. You got 3 years instead of one. So I think I think it's a good offer, and and whatever that number is they come up with that, but they got to make an offer, y'all. They didn't even make an offer. So to me, for the representation and for Pickett to feel disrespected, they should feel disrespected. You're not even going to negotiate with me. So I think it's a way you can go about doing things in a professional manner. I just don't think the front office don't feel like they have to do that because they have no one to answer to. I told boss last night, I want y'all to think about this. If any other GM in the NFL handled the Michael Parsons contract negotiations the way Jerry handled it, the owner would have fired him. No one else has that ability but Jerry. I came up with a motto, and it is, our GM for the Cowboys is way too powerful. Our GM for the Dallas Cowboys is way too powerful because he has no one to answer to. So no other GM could have got away with the Michael Parsons fiasco because the owner would have said, okay, so let me ask you this, Jerry GM. You had a standstill with Michael Parsons. Yeah, we can't get anything done. Okay, so what are the agent talking about? I mean, what numbers? You must be talking about something crazy. And Jerry says, well, no, I haven't talked to the agent. You hadn't what? No, I talked to Micah and we talked numbers, but I thought we had a big set. He said, no, but we got the proper protocols going through the agent. Why are you even talking to Micah? Well, I just thought I can save a couple of dollars going. No, I appreciate the mindset, but this guy here is he's a generational pass rusher. I mean, we have to sign him, and nobody trades a generational pass rusher. I mean, so tell me again, what did the agent say when you call him? Because there's no way you haven't talked to the agent. No, I'm not talking to the agent. I'm mad because I thought I had a deal and I just didn't talk to him. So this negotiation's been going on for 4 months and you have never talked to his representation? No. Okay, why not? Well, you made me mad. Oh, so you're in your feelings. You're in your feelings? No. So come on up here. Let's talk. Come on up into his office. Go up to the owner's office. You're going to be walking out of there with a cardboard box. You mean to tell me we got a generational pass rusher that you didn't even talk to the agent? That's unacceptable. But guess what? GMs in the league know that it's unacceptable. That's why they don't do it. The GM for Houston understands that my job depends on Will Anderson Jr. being signed. If I bobble that, I get fired. So that's why he got it done. When they talk about urgency in Dallas, it's not the same urgency. Can I tell y'all what urgency is? Urgency is I am a GM and I stay in a gated community and I'm paying for my 2 kids in college education. My other 2 kids go to private school and I have a maid that comes over every day and clean up my 5,000 square foot mansion. I have to win to keep this stuff, y'all. If not, if I don't win, I am going to be going to a 3-bedroom apartment and I got to start filling out all kind of loan papers for my kids. And my other kids going to be going to public school and my wife going to be cleaning up the house herself. I got to win. So what does it take to win? Players make coaches, man. Players make GMs. It takes players to win. And you don't have the ability to have a standoff with Parsons, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with Dak Prescott, with CeeDee Lamb, now with Pickens. You don't have the ability to do that. And that's why I got this channel, y'all. No one realizes that the Cowboys take liberties in the front office that other people can't do. And because they take those liberties, okay, here's one. Name another GM that can go since 2012, that'll be 17 years without signing a top 10 free agent. I'll wait. Do you know that this year was our first time trading up in the first round since 2012, Maurice Claiborne? Name another GM that can get away with that. I'll wait. Name another GM that could be adversarial towards their star players. I'll wait. No other one can do that. Those liberties is what keeps us down, y'all. It's not that I think that with the proper front office and the proper coaching, right? Because again, y'all, coaching has no salary cap. That don't mean you, the Dallas Cowboys, you are the most valuable franchise in the world. But Mike McCarthy was making $4 million a year. Really? That's like me, put me behind a NASCAR. Like, I'm not built to drive that car. It takes a professional, a high professional, to operate that car to the maximum ability. So why would you do that? And so, I just think they take liberties, man, and those liberties is what keeps us back. But what they've done is condition our fans to accept this stuff. Like right now, we're 50-50 on we were 50-50 on the Parsons thing. I think it was even more so. And also we was 50-50 on, now we're 50-50 on the Pickens thing. No GM should ever, it should never come to that. GM's the only thing, the GM, only thing he's worried about doing is getting talent on his team. He ain't got talent. He got to worry about the salary cap. But what he's trying to do is manipulate the salary cap to get the better players on the team. Philadelphia do. That's what he's trying to do. And so we got a guy here that's trying to do this thing the most efficient, the most cost-effective way. Cost-effective has never won a Super Bowl. Moneyball has never won a World Series. It just don't work that way. You got to pay the cost to be the boss in this league, man. If you can go get Garrett right now, go get a Garrett, man. That'll change your life. So for this OG right here, when we were a good team in the 90s, but when we got Charles, that's when we as defensive end, that's when we made the leap, man. That dude came in and wrecked Charles Haley. That's when he came in and wrecked shop, man. And so I saw him. I was like, oh, we got something. He was on the quarterback pressures, everything, sacks. He was a beast. But what he did, he opened up everything for everybody else. Man, if you could have got a Garrett or a Max Crosby, man, that would have been the thing, man. I'm telling you, that's when I've been all in. And you could have got him for Pickens, a Crosby for Pickens trade. I don't understand why that's not even being talked about. The numbers look right. Everything looks right. So I just think that these guys, they don't want to go all in because they don't know when to do it. The thing is we're always looking 5 years down the line. Why? Because they know they're going to be here in 5 years. Other GMs don't know if they're going to be here in 5 years, man. These folks going to give me 2 or 3 years to do this. I got to win now. I got to go out here. What I would do, man, I would go find teams like the Jets where we got Quentin Williams for. That's not going anywhere. Teams like Cleveland. What are you holding on to Myles Garrett for? What are you holding on to him for? Y'all not going to be ready to win for another 2 or 3 years, man. Come on, man. Get some value out of this guy and then move on. Hey, what's up, D.A. Lee? I appreciate you coming in, brother. Yeah, hey, but it says, DA said, even the Bengals owner GM makes a move here or there in free agency, even though he's just as cheap as Jerry. Absolutely, he does. But some people point out to throw at Mulligetta about T. Higgins firing him. And the thing I would say to that is you have owner GM in Cincinnati, basically, and you got an owner GM in Dallas. It's two of them, and they do the same thing, and both of them are cheap. And that's why that happened over there. And back to Dave Mulligetta, I'm probably one of hey Dave, you see this, contact me on X. I'm one of your biggest supporters, brother, because I don't think you've done anything wrong out there. You're getting a bad rap when guys won't even talk to you, and then people coming slinging mud on your name, and the owner or GM hadn't even talked to you. I don't understand how that ever became a case. And people can't explain to him, I hate him. The dude never even said nothing. You never talked to him. And you don't even know what the asking price was. I mean, come on. And so even now, they still haven't talked to him. And I think it's a personal thing with Jerry and David. I think they may be trying to break him, but they can't. He just signed Will Anderson to that big contract quietly, without drama, without throwing anybody under the mud. The owners and the player could sing Kumbaya afterwards, and everything is good. So he just signed that player. So it can be done. So people do talk to Dave Mulligetta. It's just that the Dallas won't do it. Jerry's a grudge holder. I even heard Steven say in the let me show you how much grudges they hold. I heard Steven say in the press conference pre-draft, they asked about injured players, and Shotty went on about how the players were rehabbing good, and um, Stephen Jones said, "Yeah, well, the biggest thing is that they're here rehabbing." That was a shot at Diggs. You know what I'm saying? So these guys are petty betties, man, for real. They hold grudges, and you can't have in business. You can't have grudge holdings and get in your feelings. Jerry got in his feelings when he got Trey, the quarterback, Trey Lance, man. He got in his feelings. I told Scott that me and Scott disagreed about that, but I came out to be right. He only got him for leverage purposes and spent a lot of money to do it, man. And so that's what he got him for. He's going to show him. I'm going to bring somebody. I'm going to bring some competition in for you. Get out your feelings. We don't need a GM in his feelings. But here's the deal, y'all. Anybody listening, I'll tell you why it is. It's because it's Jerry's money, right? So whenever Jerry's at a negotiating table, it's his money. So you take your money personal, man. Let me see if I can give y'all this, because I thought about this analogy, and I want to say this right. Say ABC network comes to you and two neighbors on either side of you, a neighbor on either side. So it's three neighbors, and say to y'all, okay, I'm going to give each one of y'all up to $300,000 to build the best pool in y'all backyard. As of now, y'all don't have a pool in y'all backyard. So he said, now, whoever builds the most luxurious, the fanciest, the nicest pool for $300,000, and we're going to give you the money for $300,000, then they win an additional $200,000. Okay. They said, we're going to come back in a month and we're going to see after, well, it takes longer for a pool, but we're going to come back in 2 months and see who has the best pool. So you can spend all the way up to $300,000 of their money. Anybody in the chat, Rico, how much of their $300,000 would you spend? And anybody else in the DA League, you might still be in here too. How much of ABC's $300,000 would you spend to build that pool to win that $200,000 cash? I'll wait. ABC is giving you $300,000 to win to in a contest to build the best pool, and you get to spend all the way to three. You can spend less if you wanted to, but you can actually spend more. You can spend all the way up to $300,000. And I haven't got an answer yet, but I'll tell you this: everybody in here is going to spend all the way up to $300,000. Can I tell you why? Because it's not your money; it's ABC's money. So why save that? That's what a GM does on a regular team. It's not his money, so he's gonna spend all the way up to it. So look, I'll give you that example again, but it's your money. ABC comes to you and say, "Hey, man, if you build the best pool out of your, you got two neighbors on either side. You build the best pool. We're gonna give you a $200,000 cash prize." Well, but you got to build the pool with your money. But now you're not going to build the same pool you would have built with ABC's money, right? Because it's your money. You work hard for that money, man. You got money in savings. You got money over here. You got money over there, 401k, but you're not getting that out. Why? Man, I got to watch this money, man. This is my money. That's Jerry. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the difference between Jerry GM and a regular GM that's using the owner's money. It's Jerry's money. That's why he's so tight with it. And that's why this owner GM thing doesn't work well, y'all. That example, if I said that correctly, it's in my mind, but I don't know if I got that out correctly. But if you get the gist of what I'm saying, that's why Jerry don't spend the money, because it's his personal money. That's why you got to have a GM there, man. Because it's his money. Because he's not going to spend it. He looks at it and be like, I ain't spending this amount of money. I'll give you another example, man. Hopefully y'all get this. Me and my wife, God, we have a beautiful house, man. This is our forever home. But me and my wife was like, man, we need to go shopping and buy some furniture and stuff to build. But me and my wife are pretty, we're not thrifty. We watch our dollars. So when we go places, we'll see something nice. We're like, man, that's nice, but man, look at that price, this, that, and the other. And so we end up kind of getting generic stuff, and our house inside our house didn't reflect the type of house it was, the elegance of the house. So what we end up doing, y'all, is we ended up hiring this. My wife found this interior decorator. And what we did is we hired her and she gave us a budget and we gave her the money and we said, hey, we're going to give you this money. You go do whatever you want to with it. And we're going to get out your way. And that's what we did. So really, we gave her a salary, right? And our house looked beautiful because what we had to do is we had to give the money and get out the way. And we had to let her do her magic. She had the talent. And what we couldn't do is restrict her by lessening the money, or we can't get involved in it because when we get involved, we're going to be trying to make the financially feasible. No, we're not doing that. You go do it. Let your talent be the talent and you go do what you do. That's what a GM is, right? Let that GM has a talent. Let him go be the talent. But Jerry can't do that because it's his money. He cannot divorce the negotiations from the money. It's his money. And although a GM has to worry about salary cap, they're more worried about getting talented players because if they don't get talented players, it's not going to be there that long anyway. I told on the OG podcast the other day, I said, hey, Rico, I want to say one thing. You said GM or no GM, the owner is cheap. That's correct. But if the owner, say Jerry was the president of or the owner of Sam's Warehouse or whatever, and he had to really deal with that. And football was kind of his pastime. And he said, hey man, look, y'all call me, if y'all got a big deal, we'll talk it over. But hey, I got this corporation to run. I got a lot of other things going on. And y'all get with me, but y'all want to sign a franchise quarterback, something like that, definitely get with me. We'll talk about it, this, that, and other. Well, the GM will really head up the financial part of that organization, right? And he'll go sign players and he'll keep the owner involved in it. But because this is Jerry's business, this is his 9 to 5. This is where he goes to every day, man. That's another thing. He's not one of those owners that just, hey, I'm gonna let the professionals do it. I'll be over here. I'll be up in the booth inviting people from overseas to come over and sit up here with me. Other dignitaries to come up here and sit with me at the game. I'll be there on Sundays. I'll be at the opening camp press conference. But after that, man, y'all got it. Y'all know this. I don't know this. I made money in tech. I made money in oil. I made money over here. That's what I know. But I'm gonna let you guys do this. Now, y'all are accountable. Now, if this record ain't looking right and this team's looking raggedy and we're not building, I'm going to replace you because I'll go find somebody else. So that guy is going to go get the best players that he can possibly get to come in. And so I think what it is, Rico, is that Jerry is just so invested in this organization. If he was just a regular owner that got his money, billions in oil and just continued to stay in oil, what he did, he swapped over and made this his day-to-day. And from that point on, man, it's been kind of to our detriment. Yeah, he is a control freak. I definitely understand it. And he also wants credit, man. Jerry's still fighting for that credit that he didn't get a long time ago. He thought when Barry Switzer won it, he was going to get it then. I remember Switzer, I'll never forget, he said, and big time, you remember this too. We did it our way, baby. That told me everything. And I knew at that point in time, we weren't going to be back in the Super Bowl no time soon. I didn't know it was going to be 30 years, but I knew we weren't going to be back in the Super Bowl anytime soon when he said that, man. But Jerry thought, finally, I'm being validated. But no, they said you did that with Jimmy's team. And, I think that kind of kicked him. So he really wanted to do it after that, right? Even more so. He just not been. Jimmy made it look easy, man. And that's why he thought I get 500 coaches to coach his team and win the Super Bowl. And he thought it was easy because everything came easy to him. And he saw Jimmy do it, and he wanted to get the credit for that, right? So there's ownership credit, and then there's GM coaching credit. Ownership credit, you don't get the same accolades that the coach and the GM get. That's just all it is. So you just bought the team, right? And so you're never going to get that. And so Jerry craved coach and GM credit, and he has still hasn't gotten that. That's why if you ever wonder why does he hire underwhelming coaches? Well, because if they win and they're underwhelming and laid back coaches, well, guess who's going to get the spotlight? But if you win with a Belichick, it's going to be, oh, he finally won because you got a real coach in here. Belichick changed the whole thing around. You see what I'm saying? If you win with a Ben Johnson, oh yeah, Ben Johnson, he's going to get all the credit. So I have to hire a guy. Two things is going to allow me to do what I want to do around here, because Parcells, Belichick, Ben Johnson, them dudes ain't going to just let me just run I need to allow them to operate the way I want to operate. Then two, that their personality is so subdued that when we win, all the focus will be on me and what I did. And so that's what it is. He's still searching for validation. It's almost like a kid that got bullied, right? Because they call him a hick and all that kind of stuff when he first got in, a hillbilly and all that kind of stuff. He's still searching for that validation, man, and he hadn't gotten that yet. Hey, what's up, Angie? Good to see you too. Amp, good to see you, brother. I appreciate all y'all coming in, man. Give me a like and subscribe if y'all would, man. I definitely appreciate it. I am on here way longer than I thought I'd be, but only because I see people responding in here, man. I definitely appreciate y'all. And some people out here I definitely look up to. Amp, I've been on his show before. Definitely like him, man. All the guys are actually, all the content creators I like are kind of coming through. So I definitely appreciate y'all coming through, man. It means a lot to me, man. Oh, thank you, Newhouse, for subscribing, man. I don't know if anybody else subscribed, but anybody else that did, I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, the DC Universe coming through, man. I see y'all, man. I'm so proud of you guys, man. And y'all keep doing big things, man. We've seen avenues open for everybody else, Vach, Sky. But one thing I would just tell everyone, just keep things professional, man. Keep things clean like y'all always do, man. And people are going to start knocking on y'all door, man, for more offers, to be totally honest with y'all. Because you don't get this wealth of knowledge for Cowboys, man, anywhere else, man. We have a different view. Hey, what I say is this. Before I got to this area of YouTube for Cowboy content creators, I am the biggest Cowboy fans in my Cowboy fan group. Anybody that listens, there's this content creator sphere, even if you're a follow or you a content creator, we are the biggest Cowboy fans amongst Cowboy fans. So what we are is we're hyper fans, man. And we found a place for all of us to come together, man, and just talk about Cowboys in safety amongst us, man. No outsiders. And sometimes people jump in, Eagle fans and other fans jump in. That's cool too, man, as long as they're not disrespectful. But we found people that had the same passion that we have about the Dallas Cowboys, man, and trying to get 6, 7, 8 world championships. So I definitely appreciate everybody coming in, man, and big time coming in here, man, showing love, man. But unless y'all got something else, man, I think I'm going to get on out of here, man. Oh, I see Amp, you just got to school with some Cowboy fans. Yeah. So, yeah, and man, it's interesting because what it is, I'll tell y'all something else. I'm going to say this too. What Jerry has done over his 35 or so years owning his team, he's mastered two things. He has, man. He's charismatic, right? When he does that thing at the end of the camp for the press, that's just softening those guys up for him, man. He's doing that. He's paying money, but and everybody wants to go to that. Nobody wants to be eliminated from going to that. So you want to stay on Jerry's good side for that, right? And Jerry is charismatic, man, but he also has been in this media game for a long time. You're not gonna beat him in the media. That's what he does, man. The guy's a carnival barker. He knows how to keep attention on his team, and more than that, on himself. If you think about the face of the Dallas Cowboys right now, everybody in the chat, tell me who the face of the Cowboys is right now, and I'll tell you. I'm gonna give y'all about 10 seconds, and I'll tell you who I know in my heart it is. And I can tell y'all right now who it is because y'all probably already put it in. The face of the Cowboys over the last 25 years or so has been Jerry Jones. That's what it is. He's the face of this franchise, and you cannot have. He's a celebrity, man, and he loves that celebrity. I remember they came down to Houston one time, and it was back. I think the Oilers was still here. And they scrimmaged him, and I saw him. I went to that scrimmage, but I saw him signing $1 bills. I say, wait a minute, why people want? I said, that guy's a celebrity, and he loves being a celebrity, man. Somebody told me something a long time ago. They say, why do billionaires buy sports franchises like NFL franchises and NBA franchises? And I say, yeah, why would they? He said, because they want to be famous. He said, some of these billionaires, you don't even know the name of them. But when they own a team, they become famous. The one for the Clippers, he's famous. You know, Mark Cuban, we didn't know about Mark Cuban before he owned the Mavericks, famous, right? Now you got Jerry Jones, famous. These guys are famous when they own the team. We got a lot of billionaires out there, but we don't know most of those guys. But we know these billionaires. Why? Because they own a team. Jerry loves the fame, man. He wouldn't give that up for anything. That's why he's not giving up this GM role or anything. He's not going to quietly go anywhere. He is the face of his team. And that's why I always wanted a coach to come in here and take that mantle. The only time that ever happened when Bill Parcells came there. But he had to get Bill Parcells because he wanted to get that stadium bill passed. It's actually on a camera phone. Somebody taped him saying that. He said, I had to get Bill Parcells because if I didn't, they weren't going to pass that. They weren't going to pass that bill. But back to Jerry and the media, man, he is great in the media. You're just not going to beat him in the media, man. Another thing is that he has the media in check because if you are in the Dallas media, 105.3 or in the stations, and say Jerry gets upset with you and behind the scenes say, hey, man, look, y'all can have another sports commentator, sports media, sports writer come in and cover, but I don't want that guy here. He can't do it anymore. If you're a sports media guy and you can't cover the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, dude, you lost your job. So people walk a little softly when they're talking to Jerry. They're not going to ask him the question that we would ask. Now, let's say this too. I get tired of people saying, man, I would ask him this. Well, when you got a family to feed, you got to watch the way you ask questions. Just period anyway. Some of it's just respect, right? You can't just go in there and just disrespect the owner of the Dallas Cowboys by asking him crazy questions. You got to craft a question with respect. And, you know what I'm saying? You can't just go at a guy, right? Because we all got to go. These are the guys. So we can't be blaming these guys all the time. Well, they should ask him this, should ask him that. But these guys got families to feed too, man. These guys on 105.3 got families to feed too, right? So I'm saying, and they do ask good questions. I'm not going to lie. But we got to realize that. But Jerry is great with the media, man. He's done it. He's manipulated that media for years. And you're just not going to beat a guy like that. He's made for TV, man. I mean, look how many documentaries he had. Like, I think that gambler one, I refused to watch it. I never watched not one part of it. I refused to watch it. What I need to watch that for? You ain't a gambler no more? Don't tell me about the glory days. Tell me about why today can't be the glory days. So, but anyway, you're not going to beat that guy in the media. So don't even try. And I'm just rambling, y'all, but that's why Parsons screwed up. Two things he screwed up. Talking to Jerry about a contract. And the second one is showing up a camp. He never should have showed up a camp. But see, when you cheat, like Parsons, man, I want to get fined $50,000. Man, forget that $50,000. You let little money take you away from big money. CeeDee Lamb did the right thing. Stay at home. You can't say I said nothing. I'm not even there. My agent is talking to the GM. When we come across a deal, I'll report. You ain't got to come ask me nothing. Michael Parsons is built different, though. But that was to his detriment if he really wanted to be in Dallas. Now, we can't say that Michael Parsons did bad. He got $6 million more a year going where he went. So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, if it's about maximizing your value, Melagella did well for him. But yeah, but he should have stayed home, right? Just stay at home, take the $50,000, whatever they're going to find you, and really let your agent negotiate it up that much so you can cover that. And then just show up a camp when the thing is settled. That's what CeeDee Lamb did. That's the way you got to handle the Joneses. You're not going to beat them, going to have press conferences and all that at training camp. That's it. You're not going to beat those guys, man. Look, 50% of the fan base already was waiting on anything on Michael Parsons to go against him. They wait on anything for Pickens. Pickens showed out last year, and people were waiting on this thing just to go against him, man. They was waiting in the woodworks to go against him. So anything out bad, put it this way. I could tell you how they was waiting. The fan base was waiting. Jerry never even talked to the agent, and they still went against Michael Parsons. Jerry still hadn't talked to the agent, and they still going against Pickens. The guy hadn't even talked to the agent, and you still taking the other guy's side. It's crazy. So, but look here, y'all. I think I'm out, man. I got a new house on here. I appreciate you, man. I didn't recognize you at first, but I appreciate you being on here. Who else we got? Rico, I definitely appreciate you, man. You got it all started. Angie, I appreciate you. Let me see what else I got on here, man. This chat been pretty good today. This is probably my biggest chat on here, and I definitely appreciate y'all. And I think I had some Amp on here. I definitely appreciate you and all you do. Big time, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Big time. If you're still on here, we still like this, baby. So it was just great being on here, man. I love being on here just to get out my thoughts, and just let y'all know what I think about it. Being a Cowboy fan for over 30 something years, man, I've seen a lot of things, and some of these things become repetitive. A lot of people, like if you've only been a fan for 12 or 13 years due to your age, there's some things that you didn't live through. I lived through a lot of these things, man. So I just want to kind of come tell y'all my perspective of seeing it then, seeing it now, in the middle. 30 years is too long, y'all. I was actually happy when Washington actually went to the NFC Championship game, so I can just point the finger at Jerry. 2 NFC East teams playing for the NFC Championship, and now you're the only team out of 16 that hadn't been to the NFC Championship in over 30 years, man. It's crazy. But anyway, y'all, it's been great. I've been on here for an hour and a half, man. Definitely are going to be doing more of these. And I'm going to be all you content creators that came on, man. I'm looking forward to hooking up with you guys. If y'all ever want to have me on, y'all hit me up on Twitter, DA Lee. Again, my brother Big Time is in here big time. Lou, any of you guys want me on, man? And I'm going to be inviting y'all on when there's some subjects to job that's near and dear to y'all heart. But I just want to tell y'all I appreciate it. I got to go in and spend some time with my wife now, man. I've got off work 8, and then now I'm in here, and I need to go spend some time with my beautiful wife, man. So, hey, I appreciate y'all. I'll probably be coming back on again. But again, OG Podcast coming this weekend. We're going to let y'all know either it's going to be Friday, Sunday, or one of those days. Me and Big Time and Cowboy Joe got to get together, see what works best for us. And because we all got things, we got families, we got a lot of other things going on. But we always try to get together, man. If it's not all three of us, it's going to be none of us, man. We're all together, man. So definitely appreciate the love y'all been showing. That the last OG Podcast was the biggest one ever. It happened on the Sunday, so that's something that me and Big Time and Cowboy Joe got to discuss. But I appreciate everybody being on here, man, showing me love. Again, my longest stream, my best stream. Definitely appreciate, again, Rico, you've been big time in here, man, and giving me that back and forth. And hey, just share our ideas out there, man. Just keep it going. And if I'm going to get off, they got other content creators coming on. Let's go jump on there, give them a like and subscribe, man. Anyway, appreciate y'all being on. Cowboys out. How you doing, Cowboy fans? This is B-Bird Cowboys. It's a great time to be a Cowboy fan.